Hello and welcome to your gaming news walkthrough. You can click a story to skip directly to that story if you don't want to watch any of the other ones, but don't worry, you'll be able to come back to the screen if you want to skip around a little bit. Alrighty, come on, make your selection. It's Halloween. We all got places to be. Come on now. Nothing? Alrighty, let's go. New information has come out for the upcoming DLC for Dishonored, Dunwall City Trials. Instead of picking up from the story or expanding it a little bit, it will just include challenge modes. I don't know about you, but challenge modes are kinda for me. You play through them one or two times maybe, and if you're not super attached to getting that highest leaderboard score or beating your friends on Xbox Live, then you just don't really care. Something about wasting a bunch of time just to get an arbitrary high score that someone will eventually beat and will be completely irrelevant once the game falls out of favor is kinda just a waste of time in my opinion. I do know some people that are crazy about getting that high score or doing that level faster than everybody else, so hey, that's what floats your boat, then more power to you. The DLC will include 10 challenge maps, be $5 or your regional equivalent of 400 Microsoft points, and is expected to launch sometime this December. If you are just looking to get that story fix a little bit more with Dishonored, then don't worry, more story-based DLCs are coming. Not much is known at this point, but Bethesda has announced that Dishonored will have a second and third DLC pack in 2013. Allegedly, the second DLC is supposed to center around Daoud, the leader of the assassin group The Whalers. Hopefully, Bethesda will allow you to buy the second and third DLCs if you're not into challenge modes without buying the first one. But it's still way too early to tell. There is no official date for Grand Theft Auto V announced yet, but we do have a timetable now. Yesterday, Rockstar Games announced that Grand Theft Auto V would arrive in spring of 2013. But, seeing as Rockstar in the past has a very it's done when it's done attitude, I wouldn't be holding your breath. And even worse news is that Rockstar only plans right now to launch on Sony's PS3 and Microsoft's Xbox 360. They don't have plans to launch on PC. And seeing once again how their attitude in the past has been, it's quote-unquote not viable to launch on the PC platform with Red Dead Redemption, if you have a PC and want to play some Grand Theft Auto, you might be in a little bit of trouble here. The only other piece of release date news is that official pre-orders will start on November 5th, 2012. Much of what's known about Grand Theft Auto V is from a trailer almost a year old at this point. If you haven't seen the trailer, it basically sets up the scene that it takes place in LA, where a father has moved to escape his life of crime, but gets dragged back into that dirty world. Additionally, it seems like there's been some leaked posters in the past few days, some of which include the figures that were dressed up in red hazmat suits with gas masks and assault rifles, which were in the trailer last year, and a man in a tank top with a baseball bat and an angry dog. Nothing too terribly revealing or giving away what's coming up, but we'll keep an eye on it and see what happens. Valve has launched a beta version of Steam on Linux, and Ubuntu specifically. It seems beta access was only given to people who attended the Ubuntu Developer Summit. It wasn't made clear if or when they will go to open beta, but Valve engineer Drew Bliss, who spoke at the convention, said that users, quote, won't have to wait until 2013. This move doesn't really shock me in particular. Valve has expressed major concern in the past about the compatibility of Windows 8, and you best believe that the people at Microsoft want to get their finger in the digital distribution of games pie. Gabe Newell, the CEO of Valve, said, quote, I think that Windows 8 is kind of a catastrophe for everybody in the PC space. A lot of people, especially gamers, have been extremely critical and unimpressed with Windows 8 so far. The Windows 8 built-in store and possibly the integration of Xbox Live into Windows 8 could be a major threat to Valve. One of the things that is actually interesting about this is most people don't realize that they don't actually own the games that they buy on Steam. You are temporarily borrowing a license to play the game. So if your account gets closed, some sort of accidental credit card mess up, something goes horribly wrong and you get banned, then you lose all those games you bought, hundreds, maybe even thousands of dollars worth of software, gone permanently, never again. What makes this applicable to the Windows Valve Linux discussion is, will people be willing to ditch the account where they have all that time and money invested in those games to hop over to a new platform? Or are they so monetarily invested that most people just don't see worth it to switch over to something new? Valve, and Newell specifically, are big shot callers and a big chunk of the industry, so them to come out openly and criticize Windows 8 so harshly and then question their future with the platform is pretty telling and blazing the way for the rest of the industry. It's actually kind of exciting to see if maybe Valve can convince enough people to switch over to Linux. Valve and Steam have a generally pretty favorable to fanboy crazy sentiment with the community, so it'll be interesting to see what kind of power they hold and sway over people. I've taken a gander or two at Windows 8 and I've not been terribly impressed, to be honest. I'm pretty happy with Windows 7 and how it's working for me, but eventually it's just not going to be compatible anymore. So I'm excited to see how many people will switch over to Linux and start gaming over there. But Newell isn't the only one taking shots at Windows 8, even Blizzard is throwing their hat in the ring. Rob Pardo, the designer of StarCraft and the current vice president of game design at Diablo 3 Studios for Blizzard, tweeted, quote, "Nice interview with Gabe Newell. Not awesome for Blizzard either." Steam has their Halloween sale going on and there are some really good deals out there right now. It ends on November 1st, so you still have some time to pick up all those games you want for extremely low prices. There are far too many to go into detail here, but let's take a look at some of the worthwhile ones. Fear 1 is 75% off. Painkiller Complete Pack is 75% off. Tower Wars is 50% off. I just did a looking at for that, and if you want to go see it, there's an annotation on the screen right now, and you can click it and it'll open a new tab so you can watch it later. Prototype 1, 75% off. Dead Space, 75% off. BioShock, 75% off. The entire Stalker series is 50% off. Stalker COP, Call of Piprat, is the newest one, and I do have a looking at out for that game. You can click the annotation there. If you want to go see the vanilla version, there's an extremely good mod that is out called Misery Mod for it. There's another annotation there. Definitely check that out if you're interested in that game. Left 4 Dead 1, 75% off. Fallout 3 Game of the Year Edition, 50% off. And last but not least, Fear 2, 75% off. So if you're a penny pincher or missed any of those annotations, here they all are again, in case you want to go see any of those first impressions videos and see what the game is about, so you don't buy something you don't want to play. But remember, that ends November 1st, so if you want to pick up any of those games, you really need to get on it now. EA has released what will once again be a ridiculous and completely ineffective DRM system. This actually isn't a new policy and has been around for a little while, but it was just announced it will be for the Wii U as well, so I felt like covering it. So if you want to play any EA game online on a console, you need to sign up for an Origin account. What this means is you're going to open yourself up to more data mining, including, but not limited to, your email address, me information, friends list, country, language, and date of birth. These data policies, while not unique to EA, are particularly annoying, especially in combination with attaching a physical copy of a game to a specific online account. Some people have raised the point that this will create a bunch of new user accounts for Origin while no one is buying things on them, padding the user stats of Origin, making it seem like a more competitive alternative to Steam. When, oh when, will the out-of-touch, unrealistic, and delusional people that run these companies begin to realize that things like this don't actually work? When you put retarded DRM on a game, it actually drives more people to pirate it than buy it legitimately. Well, I guess it's a good thing that almost every single intellectual property that EA owns is a complete joke when it comes to online play anyway. But then again, it's nothing really new, so it's just old EA policies being updated for new consoles. We can only hope that someday someone who actually half understands video games will start to run EA, sync Origin completely and get their games on Steam, stop nickel and diming their consumers for ridiculous DLC and features, and stop beating them to death and running every single IP they get into the ground. In this case, the term someday seems delusional. And now for some notable releases. Hotline Miami came out on the 23rd and it is $9.99 USD on Steam. It is an extremely difficult, trippy, neon, acid-like, isometric, and violent action game. It's getting extremely favorable and high reviews. People are really loving this game. Hotline Miami is available on PC and Mac. Forza Horizon, the next iteration in the well-loved racing series, has released on Xbox 360. It is also getting extremely good reviews and is available for full price. Deadlight, the side-scrolling survival horror game, has also been released. It is available on Xbox 360's Live Arcade or Steam, and will set you back for about 15 USD. Some people are loving Deadlight with its challenging platforming and puzzle mechanics, as well as some other people complimenting on its 2.5D style, very impressive, and its thematic and immersive settings. However, there are quite a few people voicing concerns about how long the game is. Some people are even reporting to be able to beat the game in 2.5 to 3 hours, and for a $15 game, that's kinda steep. Medal of Honor Warfighter was released on PC, Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, and will be released on the Wii U. As you would most likely expect, it is boring, short, and uninteresting. Even the most generous reviewers are saying, you should probably steer away from it. Once again, another game trying to milk the modern military first-person shooter cash cow. Medal of Honor used to be one of the better first-person shooter series back in the day, and once again it is a series mutated into a quick cash grab by being a boring, uninspired, and uninteresting COD clone. EA level president Frank Gabu said, quote, "We're disappointed with the critical reception. Internal testing and mock reviews indicated that this game is better than the Metacritic score we have right now." Really? You thought you could clone a garbage genre and make a good game? You can't clone garbage and not make garbage. Pass this one up, folks. If you're going to play a generic garbage genre, just play the original. Guns of Icarus Online was released yesterday on PC and Mac. Guns of Icarus is a steampunk-themed multiplayer first-person shooter, but there's a little bit of a twist. Instead of running around on the ground shooting people, you're on an airship and you do air-to-air combat with other vessels. The game only came out yesterday, so there's not really that much information or reviews out there about it, but it's $19.99 on Steam and $32.99 for the Collector's Edition. But if Guns of Icarus doesn't pique your fancy, but you still want an airship combat game, you're in luck. Air Buccaneers, a similar airship combat game, is in public beta right now and will be released December 2012. Natural Selection 2, the first-person shooter blended with a little bit of real-time strategy, was also released today. In Natural Selection 2, one team plays the humans, one team plays the aliens, and then one person on each team plays a commander where they have a real-time strategy view and can drop supplies or build buildings for their team, while the rest of them play in a first-person shooter mode. Although it's a little bit early in the release, the game has been in beta for a while, and it looks extremely promising. There have already been some rave reviews released about it. If you're looking to mix it up from monotonous warfare or Warfighter, then you might want to check this out. It'll set you back $24.99 and is available on PC. Well, that does it for the releases this week. I hope you enjoyed this. Wait a second, there's something else, isn't there? Yes, there is indeed. Assassin's Creed 3 was released. As you'd expect, it's getting extremely good reviews. It's kind of hard to screw up an Assassin's Creed game, to be honest. You just kind of stab people with a little bit of storyline and setting. But instead of just releasing a good game and everyone's happy, all the gamers love you and your company, no. Absolutely unacceptable. We have to nickel and dime them to their graves. Not only is the game a full $60 release, it also has a microtransaction business model, and also they were developing DLC while the original game wasn't even out yet. But let's tackle this one thing at a time. The microtransaction business model is in the multiplayer modes. You can pay money to unlock things ahead of people. There's no item in the game you can't get just through normal progression. But really, Ubisoft? Really, you had to go there? $60 and a microtransaction business model? You either let people do free to play and then do microtransactions, or you charge up front and no microtransactions. Don't double dip. You're already getting $60 out of people. That's a lot in today's gaming industry, where you could go pick up $60 worth of indie or half-price games and get longer and more varied experiences all in combination than this one game. And on top of that, they've been developing DLC while the original game was still in development. Now, some people are okay with this, and some people it really pisses off. It doesn't infuriate me when a developer does this, but it's kind of hacky. It's okay with me personally when people like the art team start developing DLC when the rest of the team is starting to finish the game, because departments like the art team finish their part in the development process extremely early, and then it takes a long time for the rest of the team to develop the actual game. But they announced this DLC a full month before the game even came out. They have been working on this while the game has been in development. But wait for it. Wait, gets better. Can you guess? Can you guess what it is? Episodic. Yep, that's it. They're not going to give you one DLC patch, they're going to give you 3. So let's tally up everything going on here. Assassin's Creed, just the game, $60. Okay, and then they're adding additional content to the game for more money while the actual game is still in development. And not only that, with the DLC will be in 3 parts, so they charge you more money for buying them individually than getting their season pass. Okay, that's already really freaking annoying. What else is there? Microtransactions? Ubisoft, I expected better from you. But on the other hand, it's pretty dumb to have positive expectations of a company who thinks turning Splinter Cell into an action game will be good. All in all, Assassin's Creed has gotten amazing reviews, supposed to be really good, but the business model is bullcrap, and it's purposefully set up to squeeze every single cent out of your wallet they possibly can. In combination to Assassin's Creed 3 Liberation for the PS Vita has been released as well. It'll set you back about 40 USD, give or take a few where you get it from, and it's gotten some pretty good reviews. Alright, that actually does it for the news this week, but I wish you a happy Halloween and a very scary one if you decide to celebrate the holiday. And remember, if you decide to go out tonight and have a couple drinks in you, don't drink and drive, have a designated driver, and drink responsibly. And if you're not of that drinking age, or just want to go out and get some candy yourself, then remember to have something reflective on you, have a flashlight, and warm clothing. You don't want to spend the happy Halloween in the hospital. That would actually be scary. Regardless of what you do with your scary Halloween night, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, remember to give it a like and favorite. If not, then leave me a comment letting me know why. Remember to subscribe to get all the latest gaming news and updates. Thank you for watching. This was Homunculus Gaming. Have a happy Halloween.